Muhammad Abdurrahim for Nile Cruise.
Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV for the final segment of the program for today from a very special place and covering a very special event, the 50th Cairo International Book Fair, the Golden Jubilee, in a private pavilion. And for the third consecutive year, Al-Azhar participates in the 50th Cairo International Book Fair. The participation reflects Al-Azhar keenness to build bridges of communication and understanding with the people of different social classes and to keep them aware of the tremendous efforts exerted by Al-Azhar for establishing and promoting the societal peace, combating the extremist thought and raising awareness. And to be speaking more about the role of Al-Azhar and Al-Azhar University in the 50th Cairo International Book Fair, I'm honored to be having with me on Nile Cruise for today Mr. Muhammad Al-Sharif, the translator at Al-Azhar Translation Center. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm so pleasure to be with you.
Mr. Muhammad, it's a pleasure to have you with us. What are the innovations that Al-Azhar presents this year in the 50th Cairo International Book Fair?
In the name of Allah. Al-Azhar Sharif as a grand institution, as a grand religious institution for the whole Islamic world, not only for Egypt, would spare no effort in reaching out for people. So after the huge success of Al-Azhar participation in the past 2 years in Cairo International Book Fair, we have for the third year in a row a huge participation in this year fair as well. We have new entries in our wing as Al-Azhar. We have for children specifically, there is a huge part to target and those young minds to explain the idea of Islam itself in this young age, to have the desired influence in order to correct the misguided thinking that is being spread around for those young minds. Targeting these people, these infants in this early age would help Muslims, the community as a whole, the whole nation, in order to raise a well-aware generation. We have participations from Al-Azhar Observatory for combating extremism. We have a huge existence here in the on the ground. This is in order to correct the idea as well. We have in our for our colleagues in the observatory, books that refute the incorrect thinking of terrorism and Daesh, for example. Also, we have a huge existence of media coverage to explain for people what is the role of Al-Azhar, what are our new participations this year and the years to come. Al-Azhar is existing for the past 1,000 years. So we have the message being spread, the moderate thinking of Islam by the view of Al-Azhar is being spread in Arabic. For the past 3 years, exactly in 2016, there is new entry in Al-Azhar foundation itself, which is Al-Azhar Center for Translation. This is the tongue of Al-Azhar to spread its view about moderate thinking for the whole world. We have major projects. We have also produced so many books. Al-Azhar Center for Translation, for example, is participating in this year conference in 152 titles. 15 books are translated into 13 languages minimum, and we are still expanding. There are 3 more languages to come. The books are about everything in a whole, in general. We are having books for Grand Sheikh of Al-Azhar, Professor Dr. Ahmad Al-Tayyib, which explain the pillar of Islam. What is Islam? What is the moderate thinking of Islam? What is the view of Islam? We have books that refutes the propaganda about Islam that is being spread by the sword. We have two books actually that have been already translated into 13 languages. We have the Theory of War in Islam. This is for Sheikh Abu Zahra, and we have the International Relations in Islam. The first book is, for example, is viewing that the wars in Islam are defensive wars, not offensive. Islam has come to be spread by peace. We have also explained in such books that right now there is nothing called the homes of Islam and the homes of disbelief. Right now we have independent nations being governed by borders. There are relations that govern and there are rules that govern the relations between those nations. We also have major projects to come. Al-Azhar, with its moderate thinking and views, is producing Al-Azhar lexicon for Islamic terms. We are also working on a huge project that will change the concept of many, which is the translation of the meanings of the glorious Quran in 13 languages. We have made a huge progress in this field, and we are about to finish, actually. Then there are there is Musalsal Al-Azhar as well, Al-Azhar series, that explains the history of Al-Azhar, the participations of Al-Azhar throughout the history for the past 1,000 years, actually.
Yes, and there's as well the personality of the year for the exhibition, which is being chosen as Grand Imam Sheikh Mahmoud Shaltut. So, why was he chosen for this year?
Sheikh Mahmoud Shaltut actually was the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, as he has contributed greatly in Al-Azhar heritage. So many books, so many lectures, so many conferences that he participated in. He had a huge part and a huge role in correcting the idea about that is being spread by Islam in every part. Refuting the misconceptions that is being spread about Islam by the terrorists in a previous time. They were using verses of the Quran, for example, out of its context to legitimize their actions, their irresponsible actions that affects the whole nation, not only the whole nation, also it affects the whole religion itself. So Dr. Mahmoud Shaltut participated in refuting such theories, such misguided theories, such thoughts. Azhar is celebrating his contributions, his works, his writings, and everything about him.
Al-Azhar is introducing this year new books to the public for the first time in the book fair?
Yes, actually. Every year there are new books that are being written by the senior scholars, Al-Azhar senior scholars, and the Al-Azhar Islamic Research Academies. Every year there are new entries. We are not just rigid to one volume of things. We're just not limited to specific books. Every year there are new things being introduced. Every year we face new challenges that didn't exist before. So the Al-Azhar is not limited, and Islam itself is not limited to a specific era or a specific period of time. For every time there are new challenges, there are new books to be introduced. Azhar scholars.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you mention any of the challenges that face you?
Yes. Okay. Okay. One moment.
It's okay. Go on and until you remember the
I'll
challenges.
circle back. About this year specifically.
Not necessarily any challenge that faces you.
Okay. Okay.
Any of the challenges that face it, that
Okay,
face you.
just one moment.
No problem. We can go on with what we're
Yes,
discussing.
yes.
No problem.
So,
What?
what about the other activities as well that are involving the people that are gathered here today to be celebrating the 50th edition of the Cairo International Book Fair? And as you can see, a lot of people, thousands and maybe millions, would be expected to be participating in the Cairo International Book Fair for this year. What about the events that are being organized by Al Azhar and Al Azhar University to be engaging the people in the participation of Al Azhar in the Cairo International Book Fair for this year?
As I have mentioned before, Al Azhar will spare no effort in reaching out for people from all ages. So we have Azhar Panorama. This is like a televised show to introduce the history of Al Azhar for people. We have a specific corner for teaching the principles of Arabic writings. Where you can sit around a table. One of the scholars or the teachers of Arabic writings will tell you the guidelines of how to draw the different types of Arabic drawings and writings, where you can learn and participate by yourself. We have for children, for example, there are activities for singing, drawing, learning by experience. We have also poems to be like celebrations and poems to be told. We have conferences and forums to be held where you can discuss the person on the podium. You can ask them about your concerns. We have a specific corner for fatwa. If you have any question whatsoever about your Islamic rituals, the religion itself, any idea that you have, any concept that you need to be corrected, any misguided thought you heard about, extreme thoughts, we have a specific corner for people to be sitting with scholars to ask them about whatever comes through their minds, and they will have their answers.
Sir, what are the sections that get most of the visits at the book fair?
Um, we have people coming for books that is being produced by Al Azhar. In Al Azhar Islamic Research Academy, we have books with low prices in Arabic. So they are asking about the books of the Grand Imam, for example, books that teaches them the principles of the religion. For advanced people, they are asking about books from the heritage. For previous scholars, yes, about
Do you have these
editions.
books?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Also, we have books that explains the prophetic traditions, Sunnah, and tafsir books about the explanatory books of the Quran. Also, in languages, we have received a lot of foreigners and that are studying in Al Azhar University. They need books to facilitate the process of learning itself. So they come to the books that are being translated in different languages in Al Azhar Center for Translation. Also, we have foreigners that are not related to Al Azhar University but are curious about Islam and about the participation of Al Azhar itself. What is Al Azhar and what is the productions of it? What is the idea of the religious institution in Egypt and the biggest religious institution in Egypt and the whole Islamic world? What are the ideas and the guidelines that being produced by Al Azhar? So they come to the translation center. They are picking whatever book they need in different languages, and if there is no books available in a specific area, in a specific field, we are taking their suggestion, and next year As I mentioned, we are expanding. We are doing new participation next year,
Yes.
inshallah.
Speaking of the suggestions of the people, and of course, as you said before, there are different challenges for every year and for every participation of Al Azhar in the Cairo International Book Fair. One of them, of course, in the past few years and for this year is facing terrorism and facing extremism. How did this shape up for Al Azhar books in this pavilion for the Cairo International Book Fair?
We have an arm of Al Azhar institution that monitors and observes the whole world, especially terrorism and extremism. Al Azhar Observatory for Combating Extremism in so many languages as well. They are observing what happens, they discover new challenges. Whenever they refute an idea that terrorism is spreading, terroristic people, they are coming with new thoughts, misguided thoughts. This is being reported to Al Azhar as an institution. Al Azhar is and its people and its scholars, it's being put together to form the well learned people. They are putting together the correct idea.
Yes.
It's being transferred. It's being put into writings. The writings is being transferred into books. We have also, in order to refute such things and extremism, terrorism, in specific, Al-Azhar has made and held so many conferences. Also, we have here the book fair this year, productions and books that specifically targets the misconceptions that is being spread and used by terrorism, and how to refute them.
Yes.
And it's very important not only for Egyptians to read and buy these books, but also for foreigners to buy these books and understand more about it. Are there any books in English as well?
Yes, yes. For the observatory, we have the observatory. We have so many languages. Whatever book is written, so the process, how it goes. They observe what happens. They report it. Response is being written in Arabic and transformed into many languages. Also, we have, for example, the English section, English department, French, German. They observe what happens in Germany, for example. Or
That's wonderful,
yes,
sir. That's
yes.
wonderful.
Yes, Mr. Mahmoud Sharif, the translator at Al Azhar Translation Center. Thank you very much for being with us today from the Cairo International Book Fair, the 50th edition. And I wish you all success for the Al Azhar Pavilion in the International Festival.
Thanks so much.
Thank
so
you
pleasure
so
to
much,
be
sir,
here.
for joining
Thank
us
you.
in
It's
today's
my
episode
pleasure.
of
Thank
Nile
you.
Cruise. Ahmed?
Yes, and this brings us to the end of Nile Cruise for today. Of course, don't forget to follow us on Nile Cruise, on Nile TV, on Facebook and Twitter, and more importantly, YouTube. Rana.
Ahmed, it was a pleasure, of course,
Pleasure is all mine.
joining you. And you know,
Yes.
always that I have a very great time when I'm with you presenting any episode
I
of
do the
Nile
same.
Cruise. Dear viewers, hope you've enjoyed being with us as much as we have. And until we meet again in another episode of Nile Cruise, from all the team here, it's goodbye.